Welcome back. Just keep an eye out on a bunch of stocks. We do have a lot of these FMCG stocks actually recovering from the lows. HUL from the front line and has recovered about 0.25% from the lows. And we do have Dabur as well, which from the lower levels has recovered, still sitting with a cut of about 1%. We got to hear from the company's sources, and we get to know that the promoters were the ones who participated in the block deal today. About 1% stake was sold by promoter entities, but that was what the expectation on the street was. The important part, however, is the rationale for them selling stake in the company, and that is where we understand from sources that the promoters have sold stake to fund some of their private ventures. It's public knowledge that Burmans have private businesses which are in the food as well as QSR space. They have Taco Bell, they have Light Bite Foods, etc. And more importantly, we also get to hear from company sources that promoters are unlikely to sell further stake in the company, as a result of which we are seeing a bit of recovery in the stock from the lows. But the important part is who are the buyers, and that perhaps we will know only once the data is revealed to the exchanges. So for now, what we know is that promoters have sold stake in today's block deal, as the word was on the street. But secondly, they've sold it to fund their private ventures. And importantly, they are unlikely to sell further stake in the company. But let's speak about the FMCG space itself and stick to that. We have comments coming in from Nestle's Suresh Narayanan, who says that if current downward trends continue, 2023 will be a better year in terms of raw material input costs as well as margins. That's the word coming in from him. Shilpa Ranipeta, our colleague, spoke to Suresh Narayanan.
Look, I think, I would not like to speculate. Honestly, that's not the way in which we run our business. But I think the fact of the matter is, I do hope that the worst is behind us in terms of inflation. And one is seeing that in some parts there is a bit of a softening. That is, at least at the moment, it's showing it. But some parts of it, like, for example, milks or wheat or a few other commodities, are in fact showing a very firm trend. Right. So on balance, it is a little premature for me to prognosticate on whether it will be an easier year in terms of inflation as compared to 2022. But if some of the trends that are there today, if they continue, then hopefully it will be a better year as compared to the rather unprecedented levels of food inflation that we had in 2022.
The last time you spoke to us, you spoke about how, because of a low base, rural is still growing for you. But, at a more granular level, rural is still hurting because of inflation. I wanted to understand, are you seeing a recovery coming on that front? Or do you think, the second half of the fiscal is when most FMCG companies expect the recovery there? Are you seeing that already happening? And on the same lines, if you could run us through your rural strategy that you have been laying out, how both will play out?
I think the rural strategy has been put to a lot of execution in the last couple of quarters. We have expanded the number of villages that we are distributing in. I think the infrastructure, feet on the ground, are all areas that we have accelerated. We are seeing encouraging results coming out of this endeavor into rural. It is part of a long march, so it is not that there is a definitive end to it. But I still reiterate that the rural footprint for Nestle India is relatively lower as compared to many companies. So therefore, some of the pain that some might be having in terms of shrinking rural demand that they might have faced in the last couple of quarters is not entirely true for me.
Right.
So it continues on the same way.
Right. And before I let you go, one word on your D2C strategy. You launched your own platform, and we're seeing a lot of peers also making acquisitions and investments in several D2C startups. Your strategy on that front, and how's the early response to your D2C platform been?
Look, our D2C has been, at the moment, it is being tested in Delhi NCR. So that is the only geography where we are in. For us, it is more a consumer experience, a uniqueness in terms of what we can offer the consumer, and D2C as a service platform. and not as a revenue generator. So we have not envisaged that D2C is going to be a large revenue generator for us. We still have other channels that will give us substantially higher. But exclusiveness, service platform, and the value adds that we can give as a company in terms of all of these is really the attention and focus that we've got.
And you're not looking at investments or acquisitions of brands, of D2C brands that are already there to bring them on board, because that's a trend that we're in.
Look, we have a fairly strong repertoire of our own brands that can seek resonance and relevance with the target consumers. And at the moment, that is how we would like to approach it.
Okay, so that's the top brass of Nestle talking to CNBC-TV18. We need to take a short break with the news that the Nifty is down around 150 odd points, so no real significant recovery that we've seen. Time for a break. On the other side, commodity segment lined up with Manisha Gupta. Stay tuned.